Well, we're here to talk about action that Virginia can take, and Virginia's top attorney is our Attorney General. Well, we've got attorneys too, don't we? If you're an attorney, raise your hand. We have a lot of great attorneys who have been helping us every step of the way, and we're very, very fortunate to be joined by one today. Emily Hammond is a Glenn Earl Weston Research Professor at George Washington University Law School. She's a former environmental engineer and is now a nationally recognized expert. Emily's going to come up here and talk to us specifically about action items that we can take, because we know that Virginia can stop these pipelines. Please give it up for one of our awesome attorneys, Emily Hammond. Oh. Were y'all here for the performance earlier? Yeah, our dancing and clogging. I mean, Emily can do it all. Let's give it up for Emily Hammond.
Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here today. I speak as an Appalachian in Northern Virginia. I grew up in what is now the pipeline's path, and it is my love for that natural world that led me to environmental law. When I teach my law students, we start with the values, the ideals of law. Law is supposed to value the voices of those impacted by the energy industry. It is supposed to value our natural world. It is supposed to protect us against arbitrary decisions by the government. The Mountain Valley Pipeline reveals the deep flaws in our legal system. I'll tell you about a few of those before I talk about what we can do. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, permitted this project even though the need for it was manufactured by MVP's own affiliate. FERC allowed construction to go forward even when requests for rehearing were pending. FERC staff reversed the agency's own stop work order after adverse court rulings. FERC has failed to halt construction, even though we now know that there are deep flaws in the analysis done for the Endangered Species Act. We'll hear a bit more about that in just a moment. FERC has also failed to halt construction, despite that the Army Corps of Engineers has suspended construction in streams and wetlands after yet another adverse court ruling. Here in Virginia, we have more to expose. The Clean Water Act gives this state the power to halt that construction. The board let it go forward by issuing what's called a Section 401 water quality certification. But now, the board is failing to enforce that certification. We have hundreds of documented legal violations that are going unenforced. Worst of all is the board's closed-door decision not to consider revoking state certification. It is revocable, and the board already promised it would consider doing just that. The good news is that our legal system counts on more than just these federal agencies. I'll name two other components that fill the gaps. The first one is what we call civil society. That's everyone here. That's everyone who refuses to be silent in the face of injustice. And I want to particularly acknowledge the people who are not here today because they are sitting in trees. They are locked to equipment. And they are being supported by people like Jamie. There is a second component of our legal system that brings us here today, and that's our elected officials. And I'd like to thank our delegates who are here in supporting this cause. What else can be done? This is where we get to Attorney General Mark Herring. In the state's lawsuit against the MVP, what we need is an injunction against further work. Our Attorney General should push the DEQ, the Water Control Board, to protect our environment by issuing a stop work order and pursuing revocation of the state water quality certification. And by the way, what else does it need to stop? The compressor station at Union Hill. Attorney General Mark Herring, we need you. Protect Appalachia, protect the rule of law.